Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the breakfast show with myself. And we have a special guest here. The co-host is back.
The co-host is a special guest today. What's going on, Neil?
All good, all good. Now, before we start, just a science experiment. Right now, Oscar is up 3.4% pre-market. Let's see what happens when we end the stream.
How was it week to the past 5 days? Has it been doing really nice?
Actually, it's been doing okay. Yeah, it's been doing okay over the past couple of days. Last Thursday we're at $17.50. Now we're closing in at $20. So,
wow, nice.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, nice. Oscar shareholders. I'm here. Hopefully the curse is broken.
Yeah, maybe that's what's needed. You need to go away for a couple of days, then come back, and then we've reset. Now, but in today's episode, we want to talk a little bit about the market situation. We'll talk about some specific news related to AI or companies that we do follow. I think a lot of our stocks are at all-time highs or quite close to it. We are now in the last 3 months of the year, so September, which was supposed to be a horrible month, turned out to be a pretty good one. I'll actually pull up here the month performance for the stocks that I think most of us do follow. It's green. Yes, there are some red squares here, but I don't think those affect us. The T-Mobiles, McDonald's, Disney, ExxonMobil, and all of that are red. But Broadcom, Apple, Nvidia, Tesla, Google, Microsoft, Intel, Palantir, they're all up month over month.
It's crazy to see these trillion-dollar companies right now still up double digits. Even if it's in the low teens, it's still wild.
Yeah, those are adding hundreds of billions of dollars in market cap in just 30 days. And so, yeah, September has been a much better month than feared. Now, does that mean that October is going to suddenly be a bad month? Remains to be seen. Don't forget that we are still in a rate cutting cycle right now. We've had a rate cut in September. We are probably going to get a rate cut in October. The probabilities are at 97% right now. And so it helps. It definitely helps stretch this bull market.
So, Neil, when was the last time last Thursday, right? I think it was when a lot has happened since last Thursday.
The episode was last Thursday, yeah.
I showed up for like a quick 2 minutes yesterday. And then my apologies, guys. I do have a trip. It's a mini vacation and also a work trip coming up. There's a cool semiconductor conference happening next week. So for most of the week, I'm going to be at the conference. But prior to that, I'm going to be enjoying where I'm at. So it's workation, I guess is what it's called. But hopefully next week will be my worst week as well. I think I might only be on once, if that, Neil. But from there on, I should be back on the grind, and that should be back to earnings season. I think, right? I think earnings season is almost coming up. I think next
Yep.
week we already have. I know Air Technologies reports next
I
week.
think in
I
two
forget.
weeks.
Oh, 2
In two
weeks. 2
weeks.
weeks
In
from
2 weeks
now.
for sure. In 2 weeks for
Um,
sure, because I know that the last week of October we will probably have SoFi, PayPal. So if we a week before that is usually Tesla, ASML, Netflix, TSMC, that report. Um, but okay, if you're going to a semiconductor conference, maybe you should make sure to get some experts on the live streams in the future.
yeah, that's going to be another thing. Try to connect with maybe a lot of um, people that know even more than we do in this space. And Eddie's asking what conference, and it's called Semicon. So it's going to be in Arizona this week.
It's like
And
Comic Con for semiconductor nerds.
yes, yes. So a lot of big companies are going to be there. A lot of keynotes, um, not from CEOs, but definitely like some NVIDIA management's going to be there. It focuses obviously right now with the overall AI space. We're going to learn a lot about that. So might as well go and learn some more.
Yeah. Just seen quick thank you to Roberto for the super chat. So CNC about to break out of a cup and handle into a volume vacuum. The short-term catalyst, end of the government shutdown. Because yeah, again, government shutdown, as I've said before, historically neutral reaction. And as we've seen over the last couple of days, the reaction was a bit red, then green, green, and a lot of AC exposure. We are still waiting, right, on whether or not they are going to extend these subsidies. It seems like they are, but we are waiting for it. But let me actually pull up CNC, what they've been doing so far. Probably the same. Yeah, it seems like they're doing a bit the same as an Oscar. So Centene is up nicely over the last couple of weeks from 31 to 37.
I know Roberto's happy that you guys that Applied Digital has been just
Yeah, but I'm gone.
ripping.
I'm out of
Oh,
Applied
you're
Digital.
also gone of it.
Yeah,
Okay, is
but
Roberto still in
I
it?
did say it. I did say it last week to Roberto that I am going to go out of it to just focus on Nebius, CoreWeave, and Iron, because essentially. But wait, let me first finish up with this. It seems like these names, whereas United Health, they are seeing maybe here a little bit less, but there is definitely seeing some momentum. If we go with Oscar, now only up 2.8, so already down since we started the stream. Since we started the stream. Just saying,
That's
just saying.
why. Oh
Um,
my goodness.
but yeah, now with Applied Digital, I still like it, right? I still like it because we ran the numbers before, right, with the contract and how much per year that would be for the company, and it did make sense, right? That's why we initially opened the position $9 or so. But since we have CoreWeave, you have a lot of CoreWeave, I have some CoreWeave, and CoreWeave and Applied Digital are tied because they have that contract. And so if CoreWeave wins, Applied Digital probably will win as well. So to me, it made no sense anymore to actually have two positions like this. I'd rather just have one big or one bigger position with CoreWeave, and that's why I was like, okay, you know what, more than doubled, I'm happy, and I will just focus on these three: Nebius, CoreWeave, and Iron, and quite happy with it.
Yeah, nah, yes, definitely. I agree. I think similar for me, Neil, is I really enjoy this whole ecosystem, right? And what we keep hearing is this power constraint, and power constraint isn't going to stop in 1 quarter or 2 quarters, right? This is going to definitely be a big issue. So I'm very bullish for this whole market, but I'd rather focus on the ones that I know, right? So consolidating a lot. Like I know you're very heavy in Nebius. I'm very heavy in CoreWeave, but Nebius is my second position within this space.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna stay like that. Rather, I feel comfortable with those two, at least in the long term. Obviously, in the short term, when we see Nebius really pulling up even yesterday, which I thought it was weird that the stock was up on just the confirmation of the Microsoft. I don't know if there was something else that I missed yesterday, Neil, with the
I think
Nebius,
there
or was
was
it just
also I think there was maybe another big price target or something, but it was most likely due to the Microsoft deal and the 100,000 GB300 GPUs that they will have access to.
I would love to hear your thoughts here, Neil. I mean, I think the Microsoft, we already knew it was Microsoft, but with the announcement yesterday, we kind of saw that it was more for Microsoft's internal AI solutions, opposed to Microsoft being a proxy to OpenAI. And I think just being Microsoft itself kind of just brings a little bit more safety net,
Mhm.
because we know Microsoft has this crazy balance sheet, right? And if they're doing it for their own stuff, for their own um, AI solutions, then I think it brings a little bit more soundness to maybe Nebius investors, where it's not just OpenAI as a proxy of Microsoft, or Microsoft as a proxy of OpenAI, who already has tons and tons and tons of contracts all over the place.
Yeah. Oh, and they also bought more land. They bought more land as well. So that was also announced yesterday, I think for around $90 million. I can't remember exactly where, Birmingham, somewhere in the United States. So that was also part of the news yesterday, which of course means that they are expanding, right? Because you need the land. This is something that we've talked with when we talk about iron, they have land. And now with Nebius, it seems like they are in acceleration mode, which
Oh,
makes
wait.
sense.
So who's expanding into more land? Nebius
Nebius.
is. Oh, nice, nice. That's really good. And is it within one of their current
Um,
facilities? Is it the New Jersey facility, or is it a whole new
no,
facility in
it's
general?
Alabama.
On new. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's Alabama, 79 acres of land. So 45 soccer fields is the size for people that needed
Oh,
needed
that
the
makes perfect
comparison.
sense. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that.
um,
um, did
but
they
yeah,
talk about how much power is expected there?
no, but people made posts about this can support 300 plus megawatts of AI data center campuses. So I think this was the new greenfield places that they talked about that were not
Mm-hmm.
mentioned before. So this is
Mm-hmm.
probably one of them.
Let's see. We got a question here, and we also had kind of some CoreWeave news that maybe you covered earlier this week, Neil. But before we jump there, Eddie had a question here for a stock that I do own. So Jose, do you have any thoughts on air test technology going into earnings? We've seen 100% run on one piece of news. Any expectations for earning? Eddie, I mean, this is a stock that I'm pretty sure if we see the charts is pretty extended. I mean, I'm still bullish. It's still a very small semiconductor equipment company. If they are getting contract wins, is bullish for their overall stock. For me, it's more of a hold, Neil. I'm not buying any
Mhm.
stocks. I'm not selling any stocks. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a pull down after earnings, and then maybe an announcement after earnings that pulls it back up. But for me, it's just a hold. It's going to be a crazy volatile eddy. I think we're going to get more news on AI accelerators and kind of the burn-in solutions, and also some of the optics that they're working with as well. So it's a hold for me right now, Eddie.
And I do have, let's go, a new member of the Pain Pal Club. So Gabriel, thank you for a super chat. You've converted me buying PayPal shares today. Welcome to the club. It seems like PayPal, after a green day yesterday, we have to go back down a little bit. It's been quite an interesting week for PayPal. It doesn't seem like we're going to close the week above that 50-day moving average, unfortunately. But it's been an interesting week, especially in the options market for PayPal. It seems that there is more bullish sentiment when we look at the options and the flow of it, especially this week. Um, but we'll see. They are going to report, yeah, as always, the same day as SoFi, 28th of October.
Neil, would love to hear your thoughts here. Sean Investing, Sean Vesting is asking. He knows you're long in
Mhm.
Nebius, and I think in previous videos you've talked about maybe you taking some profits. Any thoughts of taking profits here on Nebius, or what has kind of like been your profit strategy right now? Profit taking strategy.
Yeah, so my average is still very, very low with Nebius. I believe it's still around 30 or something like that right now. So extremely low. Zero intentions on selling. Zero intentions on selling. I still want more shares. Um, I still want more shares. Doesn't seem like the market cares about me wanting to buy more shares, but I don't see why I should be taking profits for Nebius right now because it's still early days. Yes, of course, the stock has gone up tremendously since I first bought it and over the last couple of weeks, but there were reasons why. That huge Microsoft contract does change everything in the shorter term. For the thesis, it doesn't change because the thesis was always that we will get hyperscalers. But for the price that you're paying, I was willing to pay $90 for the shares. Without the Microsoft deal, probably I wouldn't have paid $90 per share, but I am paying now, and I'll gladly pay more if we do get a bit lower, if we do get more news. That's the thing. I don't mind averaging up if we do get an announcement of them getting a contract from an AI lab, a huge one, or another enterprise customer. I am willing to pay more for those. Exactly.
More.
I'm willing to pay more for that, and it's the same with CoreWeave. I first bought CoreWeave at $91.91. I've been averaging up a little bit there as well. No issues paying as we get more and more of those contracts. We'll talk a little bit more about the Meta $14 billion contract in a bit, and the same goes for Iron. My average there is also it's $19. Unfortunately, it has gone up quite a lot. But still, if you believe in the long term story here, if you believe that X gigawatts of power equals billions of dollars, tens of billions of dollars in revenue, then paying in Iron's case, was it 11, 12, 12, $13 billion in market cap right now? I don't think is that much to ask for. Of course, execution is key, but so far all three companies have delivered.
Definitely, Neil. And I just want to do a quick correction here, Sean. He's asking because stock price slowly but steady is approaching to AMD's values. But if you compare upcoming earnings per share, Sean, I'm pretty sure Neil would say the same. I would more recommend looking at that market cap. I think
Mhm.
Nebius right now is still only about 35 billion,
Yeah,
Neil,
which
maybe
is
around there.
bigger than what Yandex ever was.
So its market cap is roughly 35, where for AMD are we almost at the 300? So where are we? So
Um,
even though the stock price look very similar, it's almost AMD is almost 10 times bigger. And I
yeah,
think that's more important. 270, yeah. So
275.
so at least 8 times bigger right now. So definitely look more at market cap than the actual stock price.
Yeah, plus completely different profiles
Oh, 100%.
of
Yeah.
companies. One is growing triple digits, like there's no tomorrow. The other one is growing fast, but is of course free cash flow positive, and it's a different
Yes.
business. But yeah, never compare the stock price to the value of a company of another company.
I have
Um,
another question here coming in, Neo, just really quickly, and then I'll pass it over to you.
mhm,
I saw this because I saw two questions on, I think, both companies. Neil, how are you feeling right now on the loco?
mhm.
And then Jose, how am I feeling on Solaris Energy? Um, First, for me, Neil, Solaris Energy, I own I own some shares. I did a video about it, but nothing crazy. I think it's like a initial cost basis was like 10K. Um, I talked a little bit about the growth and the risk, and it's a hold for me. Nothing. I mean, when I see something rip like this, I'm not gonna go chasing. And for me, I also maybe I'm a little bit too conservative, and that's weird based on some of my portfolio. But that's because companies like Nvidia are already a massive player in my AI ecosystem, and sometimes I don't want to run into rushing more into more AI plays, even if it's energy. This is pretty much all AI dependent, because I'm still just going to get that same exposure. Sometimes I like to control my exposure and not chase some of these plays. So I'm still holding, not selling right now, but not buying either.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, I think that's the answer most of us will give right now in the state of the market and based on our positions and the price that we've paid for it. I'm still very bullish on the local. I'll just spoil my next video on the channel. It includes the local. It includes the local. I am still bullish on it. I will still be buying more shares as we keep staying at $14. Maybe we will revisit 13 something to touch that 50-day moving average, but it's definitely still a company that I'm looking at. And I know a lot of people are asking about Mercado Libre because Mercado Libre, as you can see, has also taken a big hit more recently, 13% or so drawdown. Spoiler alert, Mercado Libre is also in the upcoming video. Since you're all asking those
Oh
questions.
wow, that's crazy.
um,
So what happened here, Neil? What's going on here with Mercado?
So it looks more drastic. It looks worse than it is, but it's just a 13-14% drawdown, and now it's
Mm,
just a 10% drawdown. Plus, it did rebound here on that 200-day moving average, which is fine. So it's a mix of Amazon being more aggressive in their pricing, basically offering fulfillment by Amazon for free, which of course puts pressure on Mercado Libre to maybe do the same thing. And Mercado Libre has already lowered their fees anyways. But if they want to offer 0 to 0, it might hurt margins. And then we have the situation of the Argentinian economy. There are also elections coming up in Argentina. We've had the conversations of the US giving a $20 billion swap line to Argentina to help them out a little bit. But there is also some geopolitical scruffle going on because China is also a big player there. They're I think the largest buyers of soybeans, and so China previously I think wanted to give them $18 billion, and now if they go with the United States only, it might cause some issues there geopolitically. But that's why the stock has gone down 11% in the last couple of days. Argentina economy uncertainty, elections, plus the Amazon fee, let's say, battle. But for those that don't know, Amazon has been in that market since 2012, and since 2012, Mercado Libre has become an insanely big company. It's $110 billion in market cap. Very, very good company. It has gone through huge economic struggles in Brazil, which in my eyes are way worse than what's going on right now or might go on right now with Argentina. I think the Argentinian economy is, of course, doing better today than it was a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years ago. Um, and so it has gone through rougher periods. In my opinion, I am extremely bullish on Mercado Libre. It is in the top five in my retirement portfolio. It's around 20% or so of the portfolio. It's one of those companies where I don't see how you cannot be bullish on it because it has a great ecosystem. It has a great reputation in Latin America. It is a Latin American player, so locally they love it. And again, it's not like Amazon, Alibaba, Shopee have not been around for a while there. But yeah, that's basically why Mercado Libre is taking a hit more recently.
yeah. I'm guessing you already mentioned a few stocks you are looking into that aren't that crazy AI bubble. I know you talked the logo. Um, Looking here at Melly, and any other names you're looking at?
I mean, there is the usual names, right? The Salesforce, Adobe, those are the ones that are hated. I'm just looking because again, it doesn't really fit the portfolio yet. Although you might say that turnaround plays like these maybe yes. Although Adobe doesn't need to turn around, it's just a stock that needs to be respected by the
Mhm.
market. Um, but it is interesting that it gets hit like this, or it doesn't move much, despite it growing 10-11% consistently. And Salesforce is here again, still doesn't move. It doesn't want to move. But yeah, am I looking at Google? I mean, at a forward P of what is it, 25, 26 times? You always look at Google, I guess. You always look at Google. But yeah, that's about it. I do have this question here from David. Thanks for the super chat. Do you not want to hedge into copper, silver, and gold? No, I just increased the cash position. I did take some profits from Alibaba, I think yesterday. because Alibaba has more than
Holy
doubled.
smokes.
Yeah,
Nice.
it has more than doubled for me this year. So I took some profits of I took some profits just to increase the cash position. I'm letting the rest ride because I still think that there is value there for Alibaba. There is a reason why it has gone up so much. It was extremely cheap before. Cloud business is accelerating, but I also like to secure um, my profits and put some cash on the side. I did open two positions. I think last week we didn't talk about this Shift Four and Rubric.
Oh,
One
nice.
another fintech and one is a cybersecurity name.
Yeah.
Um, and so I might use the cash to increase those positions over time.
Yeah, because for me, Neil, obviously outside the semiconductor space, I want to increase some exposure. I think in the Max 7, obviously, all those players are still AI, but I've been looking a little bit more into Amazon. It's one I don't own
Hmm.
individually. So I wouldn't mind. Maybe this is one I'm thinking in the Max 7. Now in the software space, you actually talked about Adobe is one that always just looks attractive. And like you mentioned, it's not about this, it's not about the business. It seems more about the sentiment towards the stock. Another one I was looking at, Neil, that I've been kind of more of just a top level overview of, I like this market, I like where maybe AI can take it, is ISRG, the surgical robotics company in
Yep,
surgery. I forget
intuitive
what it's
surgical. Yeah,
into it. Yeah. Have you done, I think you did a video on this, Neil. Would you at
yep.
least recommend do a deep dive on this right now, or what are your thoughts on this right now? Because this is one that's been kind of catching my eye, but I don't know if it's worth the time just yet.
Yeah, it's one that I included in my robotics video. It was this one, Symbotic, and then one other player. 'Cause it was just renamed Rockwell Automation, but you could include Serve Robotics and all the other players, or just Amazon as well, because Amazon is a huge robotics player too. But yeah, Intuitive Surgical is an interesting one. It's one where it was always expensive. So despite it being down 30% right now from the highs here, it's still not the cheapest. They did get hit more recently because tariffs are going to weigh on the business a bit more than expected. But when you look at what the business does and where we're going, I don't see how they're not going to grow more into the future. Now you might say, yeah, but Chinese players might come out with cheaper solutions. I think when you're looking at robots that do surgeries, I don't think you're going to be a cheap ass and
Yeah.
buy like a AliExpress robot that does a brain surgery. And so, as long as they keep selling the Da Vinci systems, their install base grows, and so they make more money also on the recurring revenue side, a bit like ASML. It's an interesting play, but again, we are, like we said, in high growth mode. So is it a high growth company? It's a growing company for sure. It's a growing company for sure. It gets you the robotics exposure, but it's just one that I'm looking at and nothing more, I would say.
Yeah, so I think that's what I'll do during this week and maybe do some research on this one. And then some others in the software place that GitLab was really good. I saw it pull up yesterday. A lot of stocks pulled up a nice amount. But GitLab is still, I think it dropped down to like the low 40s again. I think it ended in the high 40s now or mid 40s.
Yeah.
And Synopsys is one, Neil, that even though it's in the semiconductor space, I do believe there's growth opportunity here. It's up about 30% from, I think it's downturn. Only 25%, but I
But
think there's,
it was up
yeah,
there
at one
before.
point, yeah. So I think this is also more like, obviously can still benefit from the AI craze, but if the AI craze doesn't go as crazy, um, this can still be a long-term winner. So that's where I'm looking at, outside of still in the wheelhouses that I invest, but um,
Hmm.
maybe a little bit less beta to the AI market.
Yeah. Plus here, of course, you got that upside from the Nvidia Intel deal because Synopsys previously dropped. They didn't mention Intel, but we figured out it's because of Intel. And now that you got some backing for Intel, Synopsys can go back up since Intel is a client of theirs. Um, Lots of people.
Talking about Intel, oh, go ahead. If there were questions and a lot of on something.
Now, did you ever have time to look at that Rezolve AI thing? Because it did report this week.
No, no, I haven't. I know it's one that we keep getting certain comments on, but not. I haven't looked at it. Is that was that e-commerce AI, right?
Correct. Correct. So it's this one right here. It did pull back. Then yesterday it went up 24% on the
Wild.
earnings report. Right now it's up another, I think, 10% or so. Yesterday it's funny because yesterday or 2 days ago in the chat there was some guy that says that he basically was very bearish on the company. Like CEO is not trustworthy. It's a scam. Um, but then on the other side, you have people that were very, very bullish on the company. But yet, from what we've seen, um, it's, I don't know. I don't see why I should be so excited about it. And it's, I think, the first time I see a post of a company in their investor relations page where they talk about Wall Street analyst boost Rezolve AI targets, validate path to $500 million ARR.
Oh wow, that's wild.
Never seen that before, but
Never seen that. Yeah,
it's a
but this
company,
is nice. The
yes.
guidance, yeah, race guidance was good, I guess.
Yeah, so first, again, its first half revenue is up 426%. Okay, great. It's $6.3 million. Gross margin much better than expected. Of course, you're not expecting this to be still a profitable company for now. But yeah, they did also raise guidance, or they initiate guidance for what I say, but they raised 2025 guidance to $150 million ARR and initiate 2026 guidance to an exit rate of $500 million, which of course is a huge, huge difference from the $6.3 million for the
Yeah.
first half
Oh wow.
of 2025. Um, but again, a leader in proprietary AI-powered commerce solutions and a partner of Microsoft, Google, and Tether. Okay, thank you very much. Like we've seen, I think with UiPath, they like released a press release where they mentioned everyone. Everyone was there. Google, Gemini, Nvidia, OpenAI, ChatGPT, they were all in, and Snowflake, they were all in the press release, but nothing much changed other than the stock being up a lot um, on that announcement, although it did drop a little bit here as well. Okay, a partner of Microsoft, Google, and Tether. I can probably find another 50 companies that are also partners with Microsoft, Google, and Tether. But look, growth speaks for itself, right?
Yeah,
They're growing
I would be
fast.
curious to see about that. What is going to be driving that massive ARR? So they expect what do they expect year to date ARR to be? If they go back
So ARR of 25 is 150 million, and then $500 million exit rate for 26.
for 26. So exit rate of 26. That means they expect their revenue on quarter four to be about $125 million because then that's their exit rate there. So
Yeah.
about but I wonder what's like what is driving. I don't know their product. Maybe whoever I assume someone's very bullish on it. Like, what's this new product that is driving that revenue growth? And is that new product gonna see that same similar type of margins that we're seeing right now? What I think the margins were north of 70%. Um,
More. Consensus, what, 60 to 70, and
70
they came in at
gross margins.
95.8 gross
Okay.
margins. Yeah.
Yeah. So would love to see if that keeps intact. And what is their actual business? Are they just selling like tokens of some AI solution? I don't know. I'll have to going from
Uh,
6.3 to 90 million year to date by the end of I don't know, an exit rate of 150 by 2025. So exit rate of 150, you divide that by four. That's what, like 36, 37 million in revenue that they expect by quarter four.
yeah. Honestly, it
Yeah.
seems like another SoundHound AI type of case where, yes, you can be growing quite fast, but again, what's so special um, about this? Yes, they have here now over 100 enterprise customers worldwide, but again, I don't know. We'll have to look at it more and more because, okay, going from 6.3 to 150 to then 500, of course you are doing something right. Otherwise you will not be seeing those growth rates. So we'll see. if we can dive a little bit deeper into
Yeah,
that
we'll
another
dive.
time.
And this is one where I don't mind not owning, right? It could be
Hmm.
the next 10 bagger. I don't know. The e-commerce definitely seems, I would love to maybe try out their product. Maybe that's where I would first go to YouTube and learn what their product actually
Yeah.
does and how consumers are using it. And this is something that might be exciting right now, but could, like, I think you've mentioned it before, Neil. Is it at the end of the day just an app to some of these large language models? That's where I would love to um, see how where the big difference is in technology and how much can their competitors make that gap closer as AI
Hmm.
models continue to improve.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Maybe something for another stream. Roberto here. Oh,
Sorry, Marco says an AI conversational commerce solution that helps shopper interact via chat or voice to find products, get guidance, etc. Well, wouldn't, like, in my thoughts, like, didn't just OpenAI
ChatGPT.
release the chat, right? That shop with ChatGPT with Shopify and Etsy. Why would I go to Resolve to do this when I could just go to ChatGPT and do this? And obviously, right now, I guess you can say it's only Etsy and Shopify. But I think eventually a lot of other e-commerce are gonna either not use, maybe not
And
use
Google.
ChatGPT, but use something, right? Google Gemini with their Google thing. Why wouldn't I just go to Gemini and they have this whole advertisement place? So that would be like my first question, Marcos. Hopefully, maybe you have someone that has research on that. If so, feel free to. But those would be my first kind of questions to ask about a long-term bullishness.
Yeah, because I mean that's that's the job of these LLMs, right? Is we talk to it and they go, or maybe AI agents, and they go shop for us, whether it's with partnerships through what we've seen, Shopify, Etsy, ChatGPT, or with PayPal, um, Gemini, also ChatGPT. Actually, that was the interface that we found, or Perplexity. So I don't know. We'll have to dig a little bit deeper. Probably they do have some YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Sorry, Neil. And Clink, I don't know if this is true, but if somehow they are somewhere, I would say like the plumbing, right? The plumbing of getting these LLMs to do it, that's a whole different story, right? Because Amazon, I would expect them to use more like Anthropic. But if somehow Resolve, even though they don't have to be that model, maybe they act like the plumbing between that, that could be something else that might make it a little bit more exciting. Um,
and
but I don't know how true this is.
I would still need to find out what value they bring to the table that these giants cannot do on their own with their own data and models. But I guess that's something we can find out maybe on their website, maybe in some videos. Roberto, Couch Intuitive Surgical is amazing, but I still think it needs to go to the upper 300 to be a good buy. Um, yeah, again, it's never a cheap company. That's the thing. It's never a cheap company. Can it go to the lower 300s or upper 300s? So much lower. When was it? The last time it was at 300 and something was April 24. So it has to drop a lot and be in no man's land to reach those figures. We'll see. We'll see if that happens. But so far, I don't think it will. I don't think it will. But it's on the watch list. It's on the watch list. And then, thank you for the super chat. This is always an interesting question. The top three stocks to buy now. I just told you before the two stocks that will feature in the next video. So there you have two already: the local and Mercado Libre, and the rest is up to you. Uh, Fiserv is yeah, it's cheap. It's cheap. I need to look at the reason why it crashed like crazy. It's like it's down 47%. It's down 47% since the peak of this year. So I need to find out what exactly happened, and then especially the crash after the last earnings report. But yes, pricing wise and all of it, it does look cheap for sure. But there might be a reason why it does. It does look cheap. Your thoughts on your potential top three right now?
Interesting. I don't know, Neil. I mean, I right now it's, I mean, Synopsys would definitely make it up there. Um, GitLab would definitely make it up there. A lot of my favorites have run up, so maybe like an Amazon or something. I think those would be my three right now, where it's like growth opportunity and valuation aren't that crazy.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Then we have some um, agentic AI could be bearish for Amazon eventually as humans default to Amazon when shopping as opposed to shop around. What do you mean?
Do you mean bullish
'Cause-
for Amazon?
yeah, because this would be bullish for Amazon, right? Because the whole thing of shopping on Amazon is the deals and the speed that you're getting your things uh, at. So I think you
Or I
meant
wonder if he means bearish for maybe their advertisement business, because then you would. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to try to read in between
yeah.
the lines.
So we'll see what the
Yeah.
answer we'll see what the answer is going to be. Rise of the Phoenix. Thank you for that. So Fly, I assume it's Firefly, a competitor for Rocket Lab.
Mhm.
Um, I don't see anyone as a competitor to Rocket Lab other than SpaceX, obviously. But SpaceX is not a publicly traded company. And if I'm being honest, even if it were, I would still be buying Rocket Lab because of the big upside that you get still from the company. I still think it's going to be $100 billion company. So I would still go with I would still go with Rocket Lab. I would still go with Rocket Lab. Yeah, maybe some others are interesting, but it will provide you with enough opportunities. Fiserv dropped after class action suit. Is it like a real big deal class action suit, or is it like the two random lawyers that we always see news about that two shareholders are suing the company because the stock dropped? Because this is something that you see a lot with a lot of companies. So is it something really bad, or is it like the usual BS lawsuits?
And
Huh, this one.
okay,
This is
yeah.
maybe. Um, it would present better options, but would it? Like even today, right? A quick Google search would probably get you also. If there were better options out there, it will get you better options. But usually, when you need things, Amazon is the best option because it arrives in less than 24 hours. No problems. Um, but yeah, I am very bullish on Amazon and AWS and all the business.
Uh, Question here, Neil. So Jose asking, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate 827. Jose, will Intel ever be quote unquote my favorite semiconductor stock? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm excited for Intel, right? I mean, right now, it's market cap of 160, $160 billion, maybe a little bit higher than that. Um, this was a stock that was sitting at what $100 billion for a long term. Right now, it got a lot of good news.
Hmm.
If you believe Intel was going to be a multi-bagger from the turnaround story, a multi-bagger, in my opinion, Intel can definitely be close to a trillion. If the manufacturing goes well in their thing, they can definitely be $1 trillion player, right? So 10xer versus an 8xer right now, or 7xer, if you believe that's possible, I think you eliminated a lot of the risk. I'm rooting for Intel. I always want competition in this space. I think that partnership with NVIDIA is pretty amazing, especially for the x86 server solution. Am I buying right now? Definitely not. Definitely not. But if maybe Neil convinces me to buy maybe some, if it pulls down and Neil convinces me to buy some long-term calls, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Where I don't use a lot of capital, but still have the potential. Um, I
Is
do
up
want to say that,
84% year to
yeah,
date, by the way. Huh?
it's outperforming AMD and Nvidia. I do also want to say is a lot of these things that have been announced still take time. I mean, for them, 14A, right? 14A, which is what they believe is going to be their main product. In terms of foundry revenue, that's not expected to like 2027, 2028. This partnership with Nvidia, again, the new CPUs, the custom CPUs take some time to develop. that could probably take at least over a year before they get some revenue out of there. So I think right now it's riding on a lot of these great news, but sometimes the market might expect these great news to hit really quickly, where it could take some time for it to finally hit the top and bottom line. And when the market realizes, oh, maybe I have to wait an extra few quarters, we might see some pull downs in it. But overall, excited for Intel's hopefully becoming a success of a US company.
Yeah, yesterday there were rumors and reports that came out that Intel and AMD are in discussion to maybe do something for Intel Foundry. Of course, nothing has been signed yet, but just like with the Nvidia news that we've got a long time ago, when there is smoke, there is maybe some fire eventually.
Yeah, and to me, Neil, right? I don't know. I feel like you have to think about it so many ways. If that is true, obviously very bullish. Because one of the biggest things for Intel Foundry was that analysts were saying competitors of Intel would be hesitant to use their foundry business, right? The
Mhm.
the design. But if AMD is literally their biggest competitor, they are the true the direct competition to Intel. If they for some reason go to Intel for foundry, I think that is a major, major win for their foundry business. Because they're the ones that can complain the most. And if they actually do it, then I think it's easier for others. Now, I wonder if this also might be a play for AMD to make sure they are on the good side of the current administration. They were saying, look, we can't invest these massive amounts of money here or there, but we can help the foundry here in the US space. So I wonder if that's kind of an aspect to it. And the other thing is, AMD has so many products, right? So many different types of CPUs. They use so many different types of architectures. They use ARM for some of their embedded products. They obviously use x86 for a lot of their consumers. So they could be sending a very small volume chip or manufacturing to Intel and still keep, which I believe is still going to be the case, still keep a lot of their heavy volume at TSMC.
Yeah, plus it can help expand again the x86 ecosystem, which um, both of them are partners, right? They announced that partnership last year um, to make sure that the x86 ecosystem continues to grow and still stays quite important. So there are definitely benefits to it for sure, for sure. Um,
Sorry, Neil. I like. Did you click one? I'm sorry if I broke it, but I
no,
like
yeah, I didn't
this.
click one.
All right. So, Jesse here. ISRG is not actually robotic surgery. It's mechanic surgery operated by a human surgeon. So not even close to be autonomous. The surgeons just advertise it as robotic. Just food for thought. Now, I actually like this a lot for AI, Neil,
Mhm.
because for AI robotics, you need to have a trainer doing real life. This is the best way AI can learn. Now, this is going to show that if this is true, I think they have the greatest data set. And again, I haven't covered this yet, but they have the greatest data set to be able to train their AI models to be fully. Uh, they probably have all this data of all these surgeons doing the same type of surgery 100, 1,000 times. And now they'll be able to create that model where you don't longer need that surgeon completely controlling it. Obviously, probably still supervised. But I think that alone can go a long way in the autonomous solution here for ISRG.
And it is a robotic play. Since it is robotic, it's not an autonomous robot play for now, but it is a robot. Just happens to be controlled by a human. But yeah, I agree with you. Um, QNC, can we? Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Can we copy trade you guys on any platform? You cannot. You cannot. But we are pretty clear with what we own. I have a weekly portfolio video as well, um, and so if you like it, you can just do it yourself. But you cannot copy trade us on any specific platform.
Yeah, I would say be careful copying anyone. Everybody has their own different financial situation. They're all different kind of lifestyle. Um, it's better to find like-minded individuals, not even like-minded as well. It's more understanding the bullish thesis. and the thesis behind the stock, and then you deciding, hey, this is something I want to go. But copying, there's so many variables with everybody.
Yeah.
Neil spends a lot of money on this and that, and I spend a lot of money on this and that, and maybe you don't spend any money at all, and that can change stuff like that. Small things like that change the overall perspective of how one invests.
Yeah, because imagine if you're copy trading someone, let's say on eToro, because I know it's a big popular platform that does copy trading. You don't know the person, right? You don't know him personally. Yes, maybe over the last year or two, he's been performing quite well. But what if he has a bad day or a bad month and completely freaks out? You can lose everything because he might do something stupid and you're copying someone. It's much better for you to control your own portfolio. Maybe you like the research Jose is doing, maybe you like my research, but you need control of your own portfolio. Um, that's much better. Of course, people starting funds and all of that is a bit different. You need to know the fund manager, you need to know um, the strategy. Plus with funds, it's highly regulated, so the fund manager cannot suddenly say, oh, actually today we are going to go 100% YOLO into a crypto shitcoins. You cannot do it. So that's why it is protecting you from one side. But yeah, copy trading is great for the guy that has the portfolio because he's making money on it, but I don't think it's a good thing for people to do it, to copy the traders.
Neil, any question here? If not, I have one that you can we can probably take.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Would love to hear your thoughts on AMD right now. Right, I mean, France is asking profit taking on AMD. For me, it's closer to a hold to very small dollar cost averaging. Nothing about that. I think I'm leaning more to hold, but a small dollar cost average isn't the worst thing. Super small. But what are your thoughts here, Neil, on AMD? Anything recent that you saw that got you excited, or maybe a little bit less excited for AMD?
Um, no, I did a recent video about AMD where the message was pretty clear. We are now in a phase where nothing moves that much. We are waiting for the next earnings report. Maybe or maybe not, we will get some some actual AI revenue guidance. But I did look at some projections of share AI revenue share as a percentage of the CSP's capex, and AMD is projected to take 1 extra % for next year. Nvidia is expected to lose a couple of percent for next year, and Broadcom is expected to win quite a lot next year. Um, AMD currently the expectations are that they're only going to generate $7 billion for AI revenue for 2025, which is much lower than what we thought at the start of the year, much lower what the analyst projections were at the start of the year. I think they were closer to 11, 12, maybe sometimes $13 billion, then dropped to 8.5 or so, or 8.4. And now some say it's only going to be 7, which is very weak compared to the just over $5 billion that we
Seven
exited.
for this year.
That's one of the numbers that I've seen,
Mhm.
which is very strange, right? Because that would only be, what is it, 25? Not 25. If they exited with just over, let's say $5 billion, it's not even an extra $2 billion of revenue for a whole year. Very strange, right? For a company that is supposed to
Yeah.
grow quite a lot. Yes, okay, maybe everyone's waiting for the MI400, but those will only come out probably mid 2026. But in 26, they're expected to generate $15 billion or so.
Mm, that's
Um,
wild. I get, and that to me has that 2026 number, Neil, kind of sometimes worries me. Because if you go from 7 to 15, what are you expecting much of the growth to be? Are you expecting it mainly the MI400? But doesn't the MI400 start ramping in the second half of the year? Can they
yes,
really
so
kind of really meet that type of supply chain demands in such a short time, right? Because even we've seen even NVIDIA, like the ramp up per quarter is, it takes literally quarter to see some of these billion-dollar
Mhm.
jumps. Now, if it's really all on the demand of the MI 400, can it meet that?
Yeah, so it's probably includes the ramp up of the Mi 350s, right? Makes more sense. And then I would guess that the Mi 400 is, of course, a new type of solution that they come out. So it's probably going to be a revenue driver. But again, I don't know how many months we will get for the Mi 400 in 2026. Is it going to be 3 months, 2 months of ramping? Um, so it's quite, I don't know, it's quite interesting. That's why right now, like you said, it's more of a hold at the moment. I want to get more information from the company, because it's always nice to hear, okay, we are going to generate tens of billions of dollars. Margins are also expected to go up, so that's good. But maybe that we will finally get an actual positive number. And plus, let's not forget the client side of the business that is performing very well, and then gaming and embedded, which had a lot of a lot of headwinds, and now are seeing some tailwinds for now, which could help,
Yeah.
of course, the overall business.
Yeah. And I'm gonna guess it's a hold because you feel very comfortable with your position, right? Your position is
Correct.
a decent size where if it is still a multi-bagger, you're gonna be happy with this position. And if it drops down, it's still not completely huge enough that you don't get scared of buying more. Like you still have the opportunity. So it's like
Exactly.
that perfect portfolio sizing. Um, I had a question, Neil. I think we talked about it really, really quickly about that IBM getting the MI 300s. It really
Hmm.
does seem like it's the MI 300s. Any thought of why it's the MI 300s and not the MI 350s?
No clue. No clue. Maybe it's because of they want to use it for one specific thing, so maybe they might not need the Mi 350s. But if you can
Maybe
get
AMD
the
is
Mi
giving them a
350,
cheaper price because they're pushing the MI 350s and they want to get rid of inventory. I don't know. That's to me a question I would love to get answers to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because if it's getting rid of inventory, then fine.
Mhm.
Because maybe IBM doesn't need the Mi 350s, and the Mi 350s are still ramping, and so it needs to go to other customers, maybe the Oracles
Mhm.
and whatnot. Um, but yeah, it was very like when I saw this, I was like, it's like why would you buy an iPhone 15 when you can get the iPhone 17? Like, what is this?
Eddie, quick here, Jose, is co-loss allocation a challenge for AMD? I don't think so. I think TSMC has plenty, not plenty, it's more of a demand issue and a forecasting. That's what the biggest issue for AI is. It's more the forecasting. AMD is not just going to build massive amount of chips if they don't have the forecast to properly do it, right? They have to be somewhat conservative and somewhat smart because they don't want a crazy over inventory buildup. So it's more about the forecasting. If AMD gets the purchase orders from from its customers, say, look, we need X amount of chips, then AMD can properly go to TSMC and forecast. Now, I don't think they're going to use a lot of CoWoS based on the smaller market compared to market share, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily a challenge. I think the biggest challenge is forecasting appropriately. And we're about to have the market open, Neil, but this is definitely a company I want to hear more because SK Hynix has been also ripping. And
Hmm.
I haven't seen too much in the
Yeah, I haven't
I
seen
haven't read too
anything
much.
that I was actually surprised. Like we're up 11% in the last 2 days for Micron, so that was quite interesting. Quite interesting. We are going to open the market pretty soon, and then I'll go over a couple of analyst comments for some companies that some of you might follow. At first, you will get both. You will get both. We do everything here. We do everything.
We do it all.
Let me prepare the open, and you can go.
Ding, 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 ding. The market is open.
Ding, 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 bing, bong, bong. We are open, ladies and gentlemen. The market is actually quite good for now. Actually, quite good. So the experiment is still running. Okay, the experiment is still running. Oscar is up 2.85%, even with Jose
Oh,
here
yes.
for even an hour, we are at up 2.8%. Reddit is up 5.3 after taking a nice breather over the last couple of days. Intel is still up 1.3. BMNR, let me actually refresh this. Duolingo is actually also back up to $316, $17. Micron keeps on ripping, $185 right now. New holdings at 15. I know someone asked me about new holdings coming to the United States. They have applied for a banking license. We'll see when they're going to get it. And now the heat map has updated. It's going to be very small at first for a new. Am I worried for SoFi, all the others? No, definitely not. Again, Nu is an outsider coming into the United States. We'll see how they will perform, but they're still, the majority of their focus is still going to be on their core markets. We have United Health up 1.3, CoreWeave 1%, Applied 0.4. Iron is flat. Let's see who's red. AST is red, but they've been up quite a lot, I think, for the last 2-3 days or so. Rocket Lab 1.5, dLocal down 1.3, PayPal is down 1%. I believe I've seen an analyst that downgraded PayPal. That's a bullshit reason, but maybe they want the shares for free. Who knows? Apple down 0.8, Palantir 0.8, SoFi basically flat. And so let's have a look at some other specific names. I'll pull up Shift 4 real quick. Still around the same price here. It was extremely oversold. We did see a little bit of buying action, but that is also down 1.2%. Rubrik is up 1%. So it is making its way up to the 50-day after the nice recovery here at the 200. Chime, I can probably put a dollar on the fact that it's still not moving. Yep, still the same. Dave is also $205, but it is here now under the moving averages.
Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you very much for that. Salesforce also 240, not moving. Adobe 351, not moving, not really getting above that 50-day moving average. What about Sezzle? Yesterday was up. Okay, so Sezzle, interesting. Here we're seeing here also a 200-day moving average play in the works right now.
This sounds just like a drink company. It's not a drink
Sezzle
company,
sounds
right?
like no. It's a buy now pay later fintech company. It sounds like a Sezzle drink or candy or something like that for sure, for sure. PayPal is the worst on the watch list, of course. Down 1.3. dLocal, dLocal is again getting closer and closer to that 50-day moving average, but let's have a look at a couple of notes here. So for the Fubo holders here, Fubo is going to be the exclusive home to select UEFA European qualifiers to the FIFA World Cup in October. Well, next week, basically, or 10 days from now. So you'll get that. I think we're still waiting for the Fubo Disney deal to conclude. ServiceNow has a buy rating from Stifel, price target $1,200. So a lot of upside here, 32% upside from the price we're at right now. We've got an NVIDIA buy rating, now overweight, price target $240, so 27% upside. Of course, NVIDIA, the de facto AI infrastructure company, sees a clear path to a $10+ trillion market cap. Okay. I mean, why not? Why not?
Right. And Neil, here before we head out, I got a comment here. A special request, some insight on the new King STX. It's crazy how sometimes like the things that like just are the easiest bullish thesis make the best sense. STX is one of those companies that deals with storage and memory. And right now, the overall demand for AI has created this company to be up nearly 200% year to date. This was kind of like a boring company. It's not a new company. It's not a new IPO. It's your typical, very boring storage company. And thanks to the power of AI, it's up nearly 200% year to date.
So there is some traction in the memory space, is what you're saying.
Yeah, there's a lot of traction, more for like that like even more outside of just your micron, right? Even a little bit more in depth of
Mm-hmm.
there, kind of like the storage players inside of there.
Yeah.
Oscar's still doing well despite Jose.
Whew.
We broke the curse or the money maker, money mover, the what is it?
We'll
Market
see.
movers.
We'll
Market
see.
movers who usually move the stock are watching the episode today and don't want to give off all the quant.
Yeah.
They're giving fake information today.
They're trying to test the waters here. We've got a key bank here, Oracle overweight price target $350, so 21% upside from right now. Again, talking here about the capex expansion and build outs for the next couple of years. Um, I think we're also going to get Iron's monthly numbers pretty soon.
Yeah.
Applied Materials outperform rating price target $195, which is a 12.8% downside from the price we're at right now. I do think I've seen that they are expecting to take a hit from some tariffs as well. CrowdStrike, this thing is crazy. Still a lot of upside there. For the drone people, we have even a Red Cat initiation at Needham, buy rating price target $17. Upside here is 47.6%. I know Ondas, Red Cat, all of those have been doing quite well this year and especially recently. As for the rest, I think we've covered most of the important news. We have some smaller player. This is the PayPal one. So Wolfie Research downgrades to peer perform from outperform. The reasons here are quite ridiculous. Quite ridiculous, but okay, I guess some people still want cheaper shares right now. So SDX is SanDisk?
No, STX is Seagate, but SanDisk is very similar to it.
Yeah.
And that one's also up 258% year to date.
So I wonder what's Western Digital?
Yeah, that one's also going to be in there. Year to date, up
Wow.
183%.
Crazy. I do have SanDisk and Seagate memories. Why didn't I think about it? Why didn't I think about this? But okay, we can almost we can close it here at some green. Oscar up 4% above $20 right now. Iron up 3, Applied up 3. Most of the AI names are still up over 1% or 2 right now. We do have some fintech hate at the moment. The local down 2%, SoFi down 3%. So flirting now with the 50-day moving average. That's going to be very interesting here. PayPal is at $68, down 1.3%. Google at 1.2, Meta 0.8. Let's see what Melly is doing today. Melly is down today, 2.2%. So we're back under the 200-day moving average. I still view Melly, the local, SoFi, PayPal, all of those as good buys for the long term. If you're not looking at stretched
AI
names,
plays. Yeah.
Cypher is up another 11.3. This one has also been soaring more recently. But yeah, all in all, good day so far. Good day so far. Experiment successful. Experiment successful with Oscar. And now we'll actually see what happens after we're done streaming. But yeah, all in all, we're happy. I mean, we're okay, happy today.
Yeah, Neil. So I think next week for me is going to be like maybe almost a no show, but from there on, back on the grind here.
Okay.
Hopefully, I can get some good networking, and we bring some interesting people to stream search videos.
Yeah, no, for sure. And next week will be another experiment. We'll see what happens with Oscar.
Should I buy Oscar calls right now?
Or puts? I don't know. But yeah, Thank you all for joining us this lovely Friday. I hope you all have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend ahead. You will see us on our channels, and you'll probably see me live next week. Thank you all for